Good day, students. Today we are going to start our new chapter, chapter number 11, the environment, textbook, page number 148. Word environment you must have learned in your previous classes as a subject. Remember that? Yes, environmental sciences. Have you ever wondered what does word environment means? Like right now, because of this deadly coronavirus, you are studying from your home environment. So which are the things in your environment? Yes, you may be sitting in a living room and your siblings must be surrounding you. Similarly, during last few days when we were studying in the classroom, you were surrounded by benches, whiteboard, teachers, and your class fellows. So environment actually means everything that is around you. Word environment can be explained as everything around us. It is the scientific term for everything that is around us. Let's take an example of a park. In a park, there are some people sitting, some children playing. There are some grass, flowers, plants, trees, butterflies, birds, benches, slides and swings. The play area, they all are around us. So in the park environment, you find these things, right? This is a very narrow example. Let's take a bigger picture. The area or city we live in also gives us an environment. Similarly, country, continent, and our planet Earth. Like we learned in previous chapter space that in there only our planet Earth gives an environment such that it supports life, whereas other planets do not support life, right? Coming back to our previous example of park. In the park, we were surrounded by certain things. If we want to list down these things, we can list them down in two categories. What are they? Can you identify? Yes, just like previous chapter, life and living things, we can divide things based upon life process, whether they perform life process or they do not perform life process. Those who have life process are called living organisms, and such components in the surrounding are called biotic components. Word bio means life, as you learned in the definition of biology. Remember that? Whereas the things which do not have life are called non-living organisms or abiotic components. Word in the text means no. Whenever you add word in a term, it means no. Like maybe in math, you have studied symmetrical objects and asymmetrical objects, right? So we can divide things in our surrounding as biotic components and abiotic components. When in a surrounding these biotic and abiotic components are together, they form a system called ecosystem. And the person who studies it are called ecologist. In the environmental science, we study how these components interact and how the nature works. The interaction of these different components basically form our surrounding, right? Now let's take an example how biotic and abiotic components interact, how plants grow. We learned in chapter Plant and Photosynthesis that plant itself is a biotic component. But for its growth, it needs some abiotic components. What are they? Carbon dioxide, water, and sunlight. Yes, these all are biotic components. Together with these components, plant perform photosynthesis, means food in the presence of light. Then some herbivore animal come and eat that plant. which itself is a biotic component, right? So you may see in this example that these components, biotic and abiotic components, they interact with each other. They have a relationship between them, right? This relationship we are going to study in detail. But before that, I want all of you to pause this video here and read page number 148. There are some things given. You should list down them as abiotic and biotic components. Yes. Yes, I hope you have done it. Let's move on. Coming back to the environment. As I told you, our Earth is giving us an environment such that it supports life. But Earth have different regions which have different abiotic components, mainly its climate and its landscape. Different type of climate make different types of habitat. Remember the term habitat from your previous classes? In your previous classes in science subject, you must have learned habitat. Habitat means a place which is suitable for certain group of animals and plants to grow and exist. Habitats, just like Earth, as Earth is divided mainly in two parts, land part and water body parts, habitat is also divided in two parts. What are they? They are called terrestrial habitat and aquatic habitat. What is terrestrial habitat? What terrestrial means land. So the plants and animals that live on land are called terrestrial habitats. Can you identify these animals which lives on terrestrial habitat, which are terrestrial habitat? I'm sure you can do it. Similarly, the animals which live on in the sea or in any water body are called aquatic habitats. But before that, I want to explain to you this. Terrestrial habitats are basically divided in three parts: grassland, desert, coastal, and mountain region. We will take a deeper look in these subcategories of terrestrial habitat. But before that, let's take a quick look on aquatic habitat. Word aqua means water. So the plants and animals which grow in water or which live in water are called aquatic habitats. Now let's identify what are the different animals which you can see in this diagram, in this picture. Lives in water? Yes. Turtles, frogs, fishes and crabs. Aquatic habitats similarly can be further classified in 4 different classes: ponds, lakes, river and ocean. I'm sure from your geography class you must know what is the difference between these 4 water bodies. Now coming back to the terrestrial habitat. The first type of terrestrial habitat is grassland or woodland. Can you guess what type of habitat is it? Yes, it is kind of forest or the land where the plants grow easily. Land doesn't mean only grass, it means trees, shrubs and grass as well. The main animals which live in lands are lion and deer. Even in this grassland habitat, animals adapt to their surroundings. For example, lion. Do you ever think that why lion is brown in color? Because lion is found in hot and humid climate, where the grass surrounding it is also usually brown in color, so it can camouflage in its surrounding. And as we all know that lion is a carnivorous animal, right? So it needs to hide itself before attacking on other animal. That's why lion is brown in color. It has two eyes which have very sharp vision. Even it can see in the dark, Whereas it's, let's say, a deer, though it catch many different animals as well. Usually its prey have long ears. Deers have long ears. Have you noticed it? Yes. These long ears help deer to listen to the predators from very long distance. They have eyes on the two other sides of their skull, so they can see long range. Also, they have very long legs, so they can run fast in order to save their life. So this is this special feature of animals to get used to of their environment is called adaptation. Like you must know, giraffe have got long neck. Why? So that it can eat from the trees, large trees, high trees also. Now coming back to desert habitat. Deserts. In the desert, the most found animal is camel. Have you ever wondered why there is a hump on camel back? Because camels, since they live in desert where the food is not very easily available, so they store food in the form of fats and they can survive without eating for many days. Also, they store lots of water, not in this hump but somewhere else. Its feet are webbed so that it can walk easily in the desert. If you take some other animal like horse or something, it will start sinking in the ground. Now come cactus. Cactus are the desert plants. You might notice that they don't have usual leaves. Remember, in the chapter Plant and Photosynthesis, we learned how plants remove excess of water from their leaf holes called stomata. But these plants do not have any leaves in it. Instead, they have spines in it, right? This helps plants in the desert, cactus, retain the water in the desert area. Now comes some other animals, rats and snakes. How rats and snakes survive in a desert habitat? It's very hot during the days, but it is very cold during the night. During the night, what these animals do, they dig very deep burrow inside the desert and they live there all daytime. But when it comes night, they come out from their burrows and find their food. That is how they survive the desert life. Now come the third habitat, mountain and the coastal region. Usually in the mountains or in the coastal regions, it is very breezy. In the mountains, usually it is snowy. So even the trees over there adapt to their snowy environment. You must have seen the trees inside the mountain regions are cone-like. Why they do so? Because when it snows, they roll down the snow from their leaves. Same thing we adapted from the nature, and the houses built in the snowy regions have hat-like structure on their rooftop, so that no more snow stay over there, but it slips down, right? Similarly, animals who live in these mountain regions, in cold areas, they also adapt to their environment. What they do? For example, a yak. A yak is covered in heavy hairs or heavy fur. Similarly, snow leopard. They both have thick cover of fur which let them survive in a very harsh weather. Even the goats over there do not have same amount of hair as we have in desert area or land area. Snow goats are very hairy. Now let's start the second type of habitat, which is aquatic habitat. Aquatic habitats, ponds, lakes and river. Of course, in aquatic habitat, you may find fishes in majority, and you already know about it. Let's discuss some other animals. For example, frog. You may have seen frog that can survive in the land as well as on the in the sea or in the water. What helps them survive in the sea as well is their webbed feet, which let them float in the water bodies, whereas their long back legs help them to leap and catch their prey. So it is the adaptation for frog. There are also some plants in ponds, lakes and river. If you see these plants have very small roots just to make them stick to the seabed or the soil region. They have long, narrow stems. These long, narrow stems let them float in the surface of water. Mostly, they have needle-like leaves inside the water, whereas broader leaves and flowers on the top of the water. Some plants are submerged in water. These are called seaweeds. Their smaller ribbon-like structure make them survive the sea river. Now comes ocean habitat. In ocean, the mostly found animal is fish. Remember, in the previous class, we learned about friction, air friction or fluid friction. So I told you that high moving objects, high speed objects like jets, bullet trains, they are in such a shape so that they can have least amount of air resistance. Similarly, you can see the shape of a fish is streamlined so that it can flow in the water very well, even in the high tides. But there are some animals which do not float in, which do not have that stream-like structure. For example, octopus. Octopus, that's why, survive near the seabed and only feed on the animals which are on the very deep down in the sea. But it also has gills. Just like fishes, octopus also have gills. What is the purpose of gills? Yes, gills let the animals inside the water to respire or to take in the oxygen. But there are some exceptions as well. These exceptions are mainly dolphin fish. Have you ever seen it always dives out of the water? No, it doesn't do it for the purpose of our entertainment? It is because that dolphins do not have gills, but they have blowholes, so that when they come out of the water, then only they exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide. So now you know why dolphins jumps inside and outside the water. I am sure that you by now understand different habitats and how animals adapt to their habitats.